Okay, morning guys. In this video, just going to do a bit of a run around. 900 hours clocked up. I'll see where we're at. Finished off the cow, looking fantastic. Hope you enjoyed this one. All right, 900 hours clocked up. Finished off my top cow. I'll let you in on a secret. I did that in a vinyl wrap. So we'll see how that goes. I've got some paint there. I wanted the stripe, I wanted to make it look like the white stripe sort of goes up and around rather than just run the wrap off the cow and have it look like it's unfinished and have to paint. There's a 1 inch section in there, or wrap that section and then have the trouble of lining up a line. I've also got what they call it PFTE, Teflon tape under the cow all the way around. Really happy. I spent a lot of time on this cow just to get that perfect. Couldn't be happier. The screws aren't done up exactly tight at the moment, so it's got a bit of a whoop. Did all the front's just beautiful, and my oil filler door. The wrap went inside there, no worries at all. And one oil filler door. Really looking good. Not sure how it's going to handle the heat, and it does sort of mark easily with moisture or something, but it should just wipe off. Put my stickers on the side just for a visual, and we're looking pretty good. Alright, so a few people have asked why I haven't got the prop on yet and have I run the engine. No, I haven't. I haven't put the prop on yet purely because it just gets in the way. As you saw, I've got the spinners painted orange, so it's ready to go. I believe I didn't want to hook up fuel and have fuel in the lines, so if I undo something I've got fuel leaking everywhere, it stinks, and I wanted it clean so that I could paint the aircraft. The time will come when I run the engine. It's going to start. It's a Jabiru engine straight from the factory. I've hooked up all the systems. I've checked during my installation, if you like. So I've checked the 6 EGTs, I've checked the 6 CHTs, the throttle, choke, magnetos, RPM. What else is there? Oil temp, oil pressure. All that's been checked with either a heat gun. There's other ways of doing it. Starter motor works. I've turned it over on the starter motor, which gives me RPM. I know my RPM works, and I know my Maggies work because I can turn the Maggie off, and my RPM pickup is from the magneto, so my RPM display goes away, which tells me the Maggie's working. So when the time comes, when the wings are on, I'll do my fuel leak checks, then we'll run the engine. Now, if we haven't had a good look at it, yeah, I got my seats covered up just because my dirty bum gets in there. The main spats are off just because, well, they're 36 inches long or 37 inches long. It's quite easy to kick those, especially while there's no strut here in the way. Little Jabbies get a bit jealous over here. And you saw the tail all finished, looking good with the Southern Cross. Just got to do my rudder cables. There's a bit more to it than you think. Line up the rudder pedals and obviously line up nose wheel steering, or the nose wheel itself. That was what I dreamed up, I guess, and ended up pretty close. Now I was going to put a number on the cow, and I haven't done that yet. I'll show you why. With the right font, I was going to put a number on the side of the cow like the Air Force has. However, on this side I've got the knacker duct in the way. So I went from 0.5 to 10 to make a skinnier number, if that makes sense. So I may still do this, but I need to try and I didn't want the number disappearing through the knacker duct, if that makes sense. So anyway, all these decals or stickers it's good fun, good visual. So I may or may not end up with a number on the side yet. We'll see how we go. But the Zenith Cruzer sticker turned out really good. Alright, one wing out of the tent, in the cradle. Unfortunate part of that is I now have to repeat, do it all again. So we'll get that one painted. So primer goes away. White paint goes away. Orange paint goes away. Tent goes away. Time to play. Okay, interior. So, got my seats in, looking really good. My header tank, 3.5 litre header tank over there, still has to be plumbed. Yeah, I could put 2 litres in that and run the engine possibly, but why? Carpet in the back, all good. I'll jump in and show you the rest. Just before I do that, so I've got the foot mats, and this side console is off at the moment. I built my, if you remember back, I built my recessed fuel shut-off switch. That's just the master shut-off. Still have to tension up the cables for the rudder pedals, and all my looms are secured. I also have to do a fuel leak check on the back of this, the shut-off tap. Got to bleed the brakes and secure the split pins, top and bottom. I think the bottoms might be done. Just the top, once I adjust the brake pedal length, just to position the pedals themselves. I just run a bit of 2B1 or something across the pedals and clamp it, and that'll get my nose wheel steering straight once I've adjusted the rods, obviously, to rig the rudder. Centre console, I did that to this centre console piece to allow for full up elevator, the way I've got it rigged. Down the bottom there, it's good fun, quite challenging to get to that split pin down the bottom, and not only that, to get to the jam nut. You get a spanner on there, but you've got to be able to, just nip up that jam nut. I've got that all the way in to get my stick to go as far forward as possible. So neutral is sort of there somewhere. Okay, cockpit. Now I've seen some 747 looking things out there, but I've tried to keep this as, each to their own. That's fine. I'm a minimalist, so I've kept this to basically everything I need and nothing else. So circuit breakers, start over here if you like. I've got compass, flap motor, ethos, elevator trim, fuel pump, my avionics bus, and the radio. That's all I've got on the circuit protections. iPad will be for Oz runways, watching movies, whatever. Discussed this before. Starter buttons up there, the ergonomics of it all. Head up, eyes up, look at the prop, hit the button, then that's it. Game over for that fella. Carby heat, choke. I've labelled things but not everything. Master, left mag, right mag, avionics. So in flight, it's just a simple, the master on, both maggies and avionics will be on. Everything will be up. I've got a spare switch here for nav lights or something in the future, and just to keep the board symmetrical. So in flight I'd put that up, and I won't turn it on now for obvious reasons, but my fuel pump as required. So it's pretty easy to, it's sort of separate and on its own. That's the only thing in flight that I'll be turning off and on regularly. Everything else, so my pre-takeoff checks will be, all the levers in, switches are up, off we go. Avionics brings up the iPad. Over this side, my throttle, I've beefed up under here. I've used the standard dashboard. I think it's only 16 thou or something like that. Previous videos, I put that decent bit of angle across, and this is just fantastic, nice and soft. Just reminds me, I still have to take, there's a bit of a burr on the plastic there, needs a bit of a sand, with the friction knob. My flap switch and my elevator trim, which we covered in the last video, just there. On my ethos, I still need to change the screen, like dumb it down a bit. This is the stock standard screen. However, I've checked I've got RPM, I've checked I've got oil pressure. RPM, I've done that by just running the engine on the starter motor, turn the motor over, I get about 450 RPM without the plugs in the engine. Oil pressure comes up straight away when I turn the engine over. Oil temp, I put the heat gun on the probe and heat the sump up, and that registers. Same with CHT and EGTs. As I hooked up each individual one, made sure it was reading the correct, number 2 cylinder was reading number 2, and the temperature went up. So I've checked EGTs and CHTs. I've just got the standard fuel gauge, if you like, at the moment. I might turn those round so they're vertical, so it runs out like a hole in a bucket. And my power distribution bar there. Radio works. Well, I can hear people. I haven't transmitted yet. I've got an aerial fitted now, but I am inside the hangar, and I think I have to calibrate or get it outside for the GPS aerial to work out where it is exactly. So that's my interior with the nice seats and the floor. What I plan to do on the carpet, I was going to do Velcro, but I think I'll just put some little L angles with 1 or 2 rivets, preferably 2, stop it spinning, to hold the carpet down. I can use that rivet down there and just a little tag, and I'll paint those up so it just holds the carpet in nicely. That's where I'm heading for on that. Windscreen looks fantastic, sunroof's in, all going well. Also been working on my registration sticker. RAOz are very particular with this. The black bit needs to be 150mm high. You're only allowed 20 degrees of italics or angle. Shadowing is allowed. I got this approved from RAOz, so I've just got some silver edging around that just to make it pop a little bit, and I've slanted, so I'm going to have, that'll be the top one will be the right hand side and that one will be the left hand side, so they both slant backwards, so look, goes with the airflow. And we'll put those where we're told, midway, prominent position between the stab and the wing. So registration sticker, I notice it has shrunk a bit in the cold. We'll get that on soon, and a bit of pride in my product. Put that one somewhere on the sides. Might wait till the wing strut goes on for that one. So there she is, guys, 900 hours. All going well. Quick update. They're my seat covers, I'll throw those back on. Time to get into the paint booth, scrub that wing, get that painted. Can't wait to paint this up, and that final shh with the spray gun, woohoo, chuck it all in the cupboard. We'll clean the hangar. I'll have my two jets positioned. Then I think I might throw a barbecue on for the boys, get them to come down. We'll put the wings on. That's going to be a nervous time. We'll get the wings on, bolt it up, move on from there. Thanks for watching.